Hello, hello, hello. You are most welcome to another exciting review of Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. Okay, and in today's review, we're going to be looking at chapter 10, which is titled Grasp the Positive Benefits of Negative Experiences. All right, and in this chapter, we're going to learn how adversity or negative experiences can be of great benefit to us. Okay, and I've titled the thumbnail, you know, what could be worse? What could be worse than adversity? What could be worse than problems? What could be worse than challenges? All right. Let me read this first by Albert Hubbard. He says, a failure is a man who blundered but is not able to cash in on the experience. All right. So please sit back, relax as we go in depth into tonight's review. I welcome you all. Working artists David Bales and Ted Holland tell a story about an art teacher who did an experiment with his grading system for two groups of students. It is a parable on the benefits of failure, and here is what happened. The ceramics teacher announced on opening day that he was dividing the class into two groups, and that everybody on the left side of the studio, would be graded solely on the quantity of work that they produced, and everybody on the right side of the studio would be graded based on the quality. So those on the left will be graded based on quantity, those on the right will be graded based on quality. And it said that those who are going to be graded based on quantity, that is going to put whatever pot they make on a bathroom scale, and the more the pot weighs, the more your marks. So if the pot weighs 50 pounds, for example, you're going to get an A. If it weighs 40 pounds, you're going to get a B. And for those that are going to be graded based on quality, the teacher is going to check how perfect the pot that they make is. Right. So on the day of the grading, the teacher saw that those who produced the highest quality of pots were those who were being graded for quantity and not those who were graded for quality. Because those who were graded for quantity, as they were trying to make more and more pots, adding more ceramics to their pots to make sure that it weighed very heavily, they kept on improving on it. They kept on working hard on it, improving on it each time. But those who were to be graded on quality were busy focusing on perfection, and they eventually missed out on this perfection. They didn't get good grades. They didn't come up with the quality that they wanted. So it doesn't matter whether your objectives are in the area of art, business, ministry, sports, or relationships. The only way you can get ahead is to fail early, fail often, and fail forward. To fail forward is to be making progress regardless of the failure or the negative experiences that you are going through. Okay. Now, the author is telling you to take the journey, and he said that he often takes leadership conferences. You would teach so many people, thousands of people each year, would teach them leadership at numerous conferences. And one of his deepest concerns is always that some people will go home from the event, from the conference, and nothing will change in their lives. Nothing at all will change in their lives because they will not implement what they learned from the process. They only come to the conference, they enjoy the show. You know how good it feels when you say, oh, I'm attending that conference. Oh, I'll be at that seminar. They just enjoy the show, they enjoy the event, but they fail to implement the ideas that this event brings to them. They overestimate the event and underestimate the process. So we should not just be focused on the events in our lives. We should not just be focused on becoming successful, becoming wealthy, and all of that. We should also focus on the process. What is the process, the journey that took you to that point where you are today? You should be able to reflect on it. Only when you reflect on it will you truly, truly understand and appreciate how far you have come. Every fulfilled dream occurred because of dedication to a process. There is always a process. There is always a journey to go through. A lot of people say, oh, I want to go viral, I want to blow, I want to be wealthy, right? They're just focusing on the end result. What about the process? What about the times that you failed, that you did the business and it did not work out, you lost money? What about the times that you sat for that exam and you failed? What did it teach you? We don't often look back and reflect on the challenges or the failures that we go through because we are so fixated on the end result, on the success. Adversity lies at the heart of every success. The process of achievement comes through repeated failures and the constant struggle to climb to a higher level. So don't put your adversity to a waste. There is always a lesson to learn from it, from every challenge, from every obstacle that comes our way in life. There is a lesson, right? To achieve your dreams, you must embrace adversity and make failure a regular part of your life. If you are not failing, you are probably not really moving forward. If a child is learning to walk and that child does not fall down, the child does not miss any steps, it just shows that that child is not actually making any progress. That child would not learn to walk. If you want to learn to do anything, just make up your mind that it may not work out at the beginning. We don't like the sound of this, right? That, oh, you have to fail. We all reject failure and things like that. But one thing I've realized is that even God makes us to go through some things in life in order for us to be strengthened, to be tough, to be resilient, so that when we get our results, the desired results, we come to appreciate it. Because sometimes if something just falls on your lap, you don't appreciate it. You feel that, oh, it is by your efforts, it's because you're smart and all of that. Now, there are benefits of adversity. Psychologist Dr. Joyce Brothers asserts that the person interested in success has to learn to view failure as a healthy, inevitable part of the process of getting to the top. Adversity and the failure that often results from it should be expected in the process of succeeding, and they should be viewed as absolutely critical parts of it. Adversities, failures, challenges are a part of life. They are part of life. In fact, the benefits of adversity are many. So let's look at some of them. Adversity creates resilience. Have you ever been through a tough situation before? It makes you stronger. It makes you not want to give up. Nothing in life breeds resilience like adversity and failure. There's just this toughness that it builds inside of you. And an example here is given of people who have lost their jobs before, and then they went ahead to find like other jobs, maybe like 3 times, and they still lose it. They become less and less discouraged because they've gone through this process of failure a couple of times. It is different. The experience is different from somebody who loses his job once and is not able to find another one. For this person, it gets to become very dejected and discouraged about this situation. If you have ever failed before, you've written an exam, you failed before, you keep getting tougher and tougher. Every time you read, you'll be like, I must pass it this time. I must not give up. So adversity creates resilience. That's number one. Another benefit of adversity is that it develops maturity. Adversity can make you better if you don't let it make you bitter. Why? Because it promotes wisdom and maturity. You're going to become wise. You're not going to be childish anymore. If you have failed before, right? It doesn't matter at what thing you failed. You're going to be wise. Success sometimes does not make us wise. It does not give us the wisdom that we want. If everything is working out well for you, you're not going to learn anything. You're going to be carried away by comfort, by bliss, enjoyment. The Bible says something. The Bible says that it is better to be at the house of sorrow, the house of mourning, where there is burial, right, than to be in the house of merriment. Because problems can bring us to our senses. Go and look at some churches today. Many of the people praying there are people that are going through problems in life. Yes, they have problems. Some people don't pray to God. They don't draw closer to God until they are going through challenges. That is when they will remember that there is God somewhere. That is when they will remember that they need to read their Bible, So even God is not alien to this. Even God is not cannot be taken out of the equation. Sometimes he wants us to learn. If you find yourself being too at ease, it is not a good sign, right? There's another benefit of adversity. I think there are like seven of them. The third one is adversity pushes the envelope of accepted performance. Until a person learns from experience that he can live through adversity, he is reluctant to buck mindless tradition, push the envelope of organizational performance, or challenge himself to press his physical limits. Failure prompts a person to rethink the status quo. It will shake you off. That's your status quo, that's your position, your comfort zone. Number 4, adversity provides greater opportunities. I believe that eliminating problems limits our potentials. Just about every successful entrepreneur I have met has numerous stories of adversity and setbacks that opened doors to greater opportunity. And there are examples here. There was a man here that was fired from his job, was fired in 1978. His name is Benny Marcus, right? And then he went ahead. That adversity pushed him into starting his own business. And as of the time of writing this book, the business that he founded, named the Home Depot, had more than 760 stores, employing 157,000 people. And the business had expanded to include overseas operations. If he had not been fired from his job, it is not likely that he would have come to his senses to start his own business. Number 5, adversity prompts innovation. It can help you to be creative, to think outside the box, right? To really think of your life. Maybe you lose your job or your business is not working well. Adversity can force you to say, okay, what else can I do? What talents do I have? What gifts can I put to use? And things like that. Number 6, adversity recaps unexpected benefits. The average person makes a mistake and automatically thinks that it is a failure. No. But some of the greatest stories of success can be found in the unexpected benefits of mistakes. When you make a mistake, you discover how not to do something. For example, most people are familiar with the story of Edison and the phonograph. He discovered it while trying to invent something entirely different. Did you know that Kellogg's cornflakes, Kellogg's cornflakes resulted when boiled wheat was left in a baking pan overnight? Ivory soap floats because a batch was left in the mixer too long and had a large volume of air whipped into it. So many examples. People whose mistakes turned into a miracle, into a success, right? Number 7, adversity motivates. Adversity can motivate you. It can push you. It can inspire you. When somebody tells you, you cannot do that thing, you are a failure, let those words, those negative words, push you into saying, I'm going to prove this person wrong, right? What they said I cannot do, I will go ahead and do it. So anytime you go through adversity, let it motivate you instead of allowing you to give up. Now, let's look at a very peculiar story here, and it is the story of somebody that we all know or that we've heard of before. And the story is titled, What Could Be Worse? It is one of the most incredible stories of adversity overcome and success gained. Yes, and it is the story of Joseph, an ancient Hebrew in the Bible. Some of us may know the story already. Joseph was really, really loved by his father. His father would give him coats of many colors. His brothers were jealous of him, and to even make things worse, he had a dream and told his brother that, they were bowing down to him. His mom and his dad were also bowing down to him in that dream. And another thing about him is that he would always tell his father, anytime his brothers were not doing their work properly with the sheep, because his father would always want him around instead of allowing him to go to his brothers to go and work and tend to the sheep. So his brothers did not really like him. And when the opportunity came for them to deal with him, some of them wanted to kill him outrightly, if not for the help of their eldest brother, Reuben, who said, oh, let's not kill him. Let us sell him off at least. By selling him, we even make some money from this our brother, you know. And so they put him in a pit. When they saw some people who would buy slaves, they sold him off. And that was how he found himself in slavery in the land of Egypt. He ended up in the house of Potiphar. And because he was good with leadership and administration, he was soon promoted in ranks in the hand of Potiphar. As if that was just, something good, right? To be promoted. But then adversity lied ahead of him. Potiphar's wife just wanted to have his way with him. And when she couldn't, she lied that Joseph wanted to sleep with her. And that was how Joseph was wrongly accused and thrown in prison. But then Joseph went from slavery to prison, and from prison to the throne. While he was in prison, it was a very, very, tough thing for him. And God brought him in contact with the warden of the prison, who was also in prison at that time, who had done something wrong, and was put in prison, and was able to interpret his dream. And when this guy was Joseph told him that, oh, please don't forget me, say good words about me, so that I can also come out of prison. You know that I've been good to you, I interpreted your dream and all of that. Please be kind to me, mention my name to Pharaoh, so that I can also come out of prison. And Joseph was really hoping that would be so soon. I mean, this guy is going to put in some good words for me to King Pharaoh. So he was expecting that, oh, it will soon happen. But no, he waited and waited and waited. And 2 years passed before this cupbearer could remember Joseph, when Pharaoh had a dream and he needed somebody to interpret it. And that was how Joseph was called upon, right? And from there, Pharaoh liked him, promoted him. Joseph even interpreted the dream to say, oh, we're going to have 7 years of famine. When these 7 years of famine are here, let us save. This is a lesson for us. Some people don't realize that the kind of money that they're going to be realizing now, they will not always make that kind of money. So it is always good to save for raining days. So Joseph told them, oh, now that we're having plenty, there will be 7 years of plenty. Let us save ahead for the 7 years of famine. And they did that. And that singular act saved the entire nation of Egypt, and not just them, even the countries around. And even Joseph's brothers had to come all the way to come and partake of this 7 years of famine, when there was no food, but when they had food that they had stored up in the time of plenty, right? That was how Joseph's adversity, trials, problems eventually paid off. His brothers eventually came to bow to him. The dream that they did not want to come to pass, it eventually came to pass, and they bowed to him. Few people would welcome the adversity of 13 years in bondage as a slave and prisoner. But as far as we know, Joseph never gave up hope and never lost his perspective. Nor did he hold a grudge against his brothers. After their father died, he told them, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. He found the positive benefits in his negative experiences, and if he can do it, so can we. So anytime you are going through any terrible experience, negative experience, don't be bitter, don't complain, don't murmur. If you do so, you are only going to prolong your miracle, right? Have a positive attitude. One thing that we've been saying since we started reading this book is that challenges are a part of life. If you already know that challenges are a part of life, life is full of ups and downs, you may not always get what you want in life, then is it not better that you make up your mind, and anytime things are not going your way, you still maintain a positive attitude. Maintain a positive attitude. Be joyful. Praise God. Don't complain or murmur. Now, your 10th step to failing forward. Find the benefit in every bad experience. Finding the benefit in a bad experience is an ability that takes time to develop and effort to cultivate. It is not easy, but you can start by thinking of the last major setback that you experienced. Maybe your business did not work out, maybe you failed an exam, maybe your relationship packed up, and all of that. Start by thinking of it and list all the benefits that have occurred. Right? I remember that year when my relationship failed before I got married, Before I got married, it was tough. But then the moment I was able to overcome that phase, it became a beautiful thing. God opened my eyes and I saw why that relationship had to pack up. In fact, if I had forced my way to say, oh, this must happen by force, only God knows whether I'll be, in fact, I'm sure I'm going to be regretting by now because all the red flags were there, right? So list all the major setbacks that you've suffered, and then list the benefits that you can get from this. How can you turn all of this into something that you learn from, into lessons? How can you turn your mess into glory? During the coming week, this is a task for you. During the coming week, as you experience problems, setbacks, or failures, take some time at the end of the day to brainstorm all the good things that can come out of them and try to maintain a positive mindset as you move forward so that you can keep yourself open to the coming benefits of failure. Have a positive mindset. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be bitter. Even if it means that somebody has offended you, forgive very quickly. Have a positive outlook to life, right? And before you know it, your adversity is going to turn in your favor. We've come to the end of the review of chapter 10. Yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share your comments with me in the comment section below, and please subscribe to this channel in case you are yet to subscribe. I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady, and on this channel, I inspire you to live intentionally. Tomorrow, we're going to review chapter 11, which is titled, Take a Risk. There is no other way to fail forward. I'll see you there. Until then, be intentional. Bye.